very warm welcome to you. This is Shriya from ED Times, and we're so glad and excited to have you here for this chat regarding work and life for our segment ED Talks, right? So, well, Abhay, you have had an inspiring journey both off screen and on screen. Of course, it has had its own highs and lows, but you have given us some exemplary performances in the process. And well, you are an icon for the youth today. And based on that, I have a couple of questions, hoping to know that we get to know you better. Abhay, the person, Abhay, the artist. So, like I said, every actor has their own highs and lows in their journey. I'm sure you've had your low periods in work as well. So, based on your personal experiences, what advice would you want to give the youth today who are dealing with similar circumstances?
I see highs and lows are a part of life. So that's going to happen with you. It's happened with me. It's going to happen with everybody on this planet. What I would say is, I don't see the lows as lows anymore. I suppose I'm older now, so I'm able to look at things a bit more broader perspective with more experience. And I realize that it is only in the lows that I'm inspired to come back high again, to do things that will bring me out, to see what mistakes have I made so that I can do right. So the lows are not really lows. They are there to balance the highs. They're also there to give you even higher highs later on. They're there to guide you. You might be having a low because you might just be in the entirely wrong profession. As passionate as you may be in, let's say, something that you are trying to do but are not finding much success, and you're trying and trying and trying and you're just not finding success, perhaps there's something else you need to do, and there's nothing wrong in that. But that's just one example. It could also be that you're in the right place but at the wrong time. You might not be around the right people. Life isn't about enjoying all the time. Sometimes you might not find yourself in a position to be enjoying something, and then you find a reason to enjoy. And then suddenly you find out that you can find joy in many more things today because you were able to find it in places where you could not.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It adds perspective. The journey adds perspective, and each step is a lesson, I would say, is what I gathered. Well, moving on, what, according to you, would be the three best decisions and the three worst decisions that you have taken, be it in your life or your career?
Let me put it this way. If ever there was a decision that I regretted making, I realized, once again, going back to what I first told you, is that had I not made that decision, I wouldn't have the understanding I have today. And so I have no regrets. As bad as a phase may have been or an experience may have been, it was all required. I put myself in that position. And only because I was able to accept that was I able to learn something from it. So I don't have any top three or anything. I would say that I'm happy with my decision to have taken on the mainstream, no matter what repercussions I may have suffered. I'm happy I chose to go outside of the formula and call out those who would not. I'm happy that I did not get into the rat race. I didn't play the star game. I'm happy that I'm secure in who I am. So you see, there's no top or anything as such. I just gave these examples because you wanted three.
Of course. Trolling has become quite an unpleasantly serious way of expressing dissent against any form of creativity in today's world, right? But like, again, the Indian audience is so diverse that to please them with one piece of work, it's quite impossible because there's various communities, and plus creativity always has calls for criticisms, right? So what would you say that directors today do?
If you want to be the next big star and sort of establish yourself in the mainstream and be loved by all, then you have to always consider mass public opinion and toe the line of what is required for the mainstream and work with the right people and conform. And there's nothing wrong in that because it can get you that place on top. Stardom isn't the driving factor. If money isn't what pushes you, if numbers isn't your game, then you're less, you don't have a mass audience to please. There'll always be a group amongst that mass audience that will appreciate you because they feel that way as well. Like you said, we have a large public. And so the advantage of that is even the niche audiences are a large number because we have 1 billion people. So even the niche is much bigger than the niche you would find in other countries. So you still have a large enough public, but it depends on what is your appetite. And then be prepared for it. Once you make that decision, again, there's no right or wrong. There's nothing right or wrong in conforming and becoming a star, as much as there's nothing right or wrong in non-conforming and rebelling against the system.
I think you would be one who's always been described as a non-conformist when it comes to that. Yeah. But but you have, like I said, you've given some spectacular performances in the way. So thank God for that. Well, so streaming platforms that have been launched in India today, it has introduced this entire attitude of let's break the formula, right? Well, would you say that now that new artists are getting more opportunities to express their art on these platforms, and these platforms are gaining quite some popularity in the country, given the pandemic scenario, would you say the Bollywood superstar Khan star phenomena will probably eventually be sidelined at some point?
I don't know if they'll be sidelined. They'll always have a presence. That's, after all, been our staple for ever since the film industry started. The formula has been in place at least 60, 70 years, if not more. So I don't think we'll break out of that anytime soon. What the OTT platforms have done essentially is they've democratized the industry a little bit, where they will cater to the mass audience because, of course, they need to get subscribers. But at the same time, they can also afford to experiment a little bit and take in new talent and diverse voices and individuals from outside of the industry, simply because they're a digital platform and they need to, so to speak, feed the beast. There's so much space that they need to fill. And so you will get a bit of a variety. And so those people who've always complained about not being able to see something new will have something. And those people who want to see the next Shah Rukh Khan film will also have something. Yeah.
That being said, what is the last movie or show that you have watched? And would you want to name an actor who, in your opinion, is simply wow in the recent times?
I loved Shefali in Delhi Crime. Yeah, Shefali Shah, right? You know, I would pick her.
Of course. Going back to our discussion on expressing opinions, what would your opinion be on the current COVID scenario, given that there is a lot of controversy wherein people have been accusing celebrities who are donating money for the cause, saying that they are not doing as much as they probably could have? Do you think that's a bit unfair as an accusation, especially in the current circumstances, or do you think that can be excused given that people are really going through a lot?
As you said, trolls are going to be there. I don't even know if one should give any attention to those people who are criticizing celebs for not doing enough. I mean, someone or the other is always going to be upset with you. You can't please everyone, and there's no need to please everyone. And that's also part of your earlier question I wanted to say, when you said we have such a large audience and you have to please. I don't try and please anyone. I don't try to upset anyone either. I just try and do what comes naturally to me. Now, if that pleases you, great. If that upsets you, that's also good. There's a certain way in which one must treat people, have compassion, have respect in that sense. Doesn't matter if they respect you or not, because they don't make a difference to your life. What do you care if a few hundred people are abusing you online? I mean, of course, being a man, I have the privilege of feeling more safe. And trolls really don't make a difference to me. I leave my comment section on and I laugh at them. But
like you said, it's probably a bit different for female actors.
As a woman, I imagine it might be a bit more scarier if someone's giving you death threats and rape threats. But for a man too, it's scary to get death threats. But I don't take that. I don't know. I somehow never feel those people are actually going to live up to what they're saying. But then again, that's an opinion. because I can't prove that. Who knows? Someone might be crazy enough to enact what they're saying. But having said that, I think 99% of trolls are just that, bullshitters. People just cowards who
Just
really
empty
have
threats.
empty threats. They're not going to follow up what they're saying. I strongly believe that, but that's my opinion.
But then again, one can't deny the fact that celebrities have been posting a lot about their vacations lately. Do you think that probably could be toned down a bit, given that the circumstances in the country aren't that great?
Well, look, I think you catch a theme for my personality now with this answer. I wouldn't personally do it. But again, if someone else does, I'm not going to judge. How do I know that person who posting vacation pictures did not just donate a couple of lakhs to some COVID relief hospital and then went to the Maldives? I wouldn't personally do it because, yes, I do feel like a lot of people are suffering, and I don't think it's right to show selfies having a margarita by the beach. I do agree that you should be sensitive. But then again, if you're insensitive, would I hold that against you? I mean, how big a crime is it at the end of the day? Who cares? Fine. Okay, so you made a mistake. Are we not allowed to be human?
Yeah.
So there are big, and as you said, there's much bigger things to worry about. There's hundreds and thousands of people dying, and you're upset with XYZ celebrity for posting a selfie. If you're that upset, why don't you go out and help those people who are dying? You'd be a lot more productive than abusing somebody online for being insensitive. So they're insensitive. So what?
You do your work, of course. Of course.
I mean,
agree with that.
where do you want to put your energy? Really, don't you have better things to do? I would say if you spend more time spreading love than spreading hate, you do your own self more favor. And anyone that provokes anger within you, just see whether that anger is worth it or not. Because your anger might be better placed at something genuinely affecting yourself, your family, and the public, as opposed to some idiot celebrity who wasn't sensitive enough to sense the mood of the moment. And also, drop the idea that celebrities need to be certain kind of personalities. Believe me, they're usually not.
You have to put them off the pedestal at times.
Don't put them on a pedestal.
Yes, of course.
And if you do, then be prepared for perhaps them not living up to your expectation, because as people, we can have really high expectations of others, whereas having no expectations of ourselves.
Of course. Well, you have often expressed your love for dark comedy, and that is an acquired taste. Not everybody enjoys or appreciates it. So, how did you come to fall in love with that genre? Was it a particular work that you read?
Yeah, I mean, I loved Stanley Kubrick's movies growing up. I loved Pedro Almodovar, and both of them play a lot with dark humor. And so I suppose it just kind of started from there.
I see. Well, personally, I do love dark humor as well, so I can relate. Well, it is no secret that you have loved experimenting with hobbies and recreational activities in the past, and well, you're multi-talented that way. So, is there some new hobby or a passion that you picked up this lockdown season, or something that you used to do in the past that you fell back on, given that now you got an opportunity to?
I have lately been doing a lot of Iyengar yoga. Got an amazing teacher, and Iyengar yoga isn't something I've done before. I've done Ashtanga, but not Iyengar, and that's been really good. And I've been really consistent for the past month and a half. Trying a bit of meditation. These are new things for me because there's so much time.
But I think that's very required right now, given the situation around that calm, the mental peace is required. There's no doubt that you've played a range of unconventional characters. And whenever it comes to complex characters, it's always Abhay Deol's name that comes to our minds first. And of course, you've given some phenomenal performances as well. But which character would you say that Abhay, the person, relates to the most?
So here's the thing about playing characters. In order for me, at least, to be convinced by the character and to convince others of that character, is to find something that I can relate to that person that I'm portraying, because you need an in for it to look real, for it to be relatable. First, you have to relate to it. So, because you play good characters and bad characters, doesn't mean you're a good or a bad person just because you find something to relate to. So, different characters, different things that I could say, I can, say, okay, that's a part of me. So, I think, for example, Lucky's ambition, he steals himself alive. Now, I didn't steal, but I kind of was ambitious to go against the mainstream no matter what cost, for example. So that ambition for that character. Um, Dave's vulnerability and obsession. I've been obsessive in the past, made myself vulnerable in many ways. Not so much like that right now. Um, what other films I can think of? Shanghai, Krishnan, his sort of rigid, disciplined routine. Now, I'm not very rigid, but I've been pretty disciplined in the past couple of years. So does that make sense?
Yeah,
There's no one character that
of
I
course.
can fully say is me, because then it's easier playing urban characters than it is playing ones, because I'm an urban kid myself. So if the person looks like me, sounds like me, you don't have much effort. But when you have to play someone completely different from who you are, like Krishnan in Shanghai, we don't even have a culture of training actors for accents, because Bollywood has stereotyped communities so much that we don't have a nuanced approach to different communities in the way they speak. So I had to work on his accent. He's Tamilian, yada, yada, yada. So that was fun.
Of course. I mean, after all, experiences make a man. So, sure. Well, yeah. Well, firstly, whenever I have been asked to choose from all your characters, I haven't been able to either, because I've always felt that because you've played such unconventional and complex characters, you've always had something unique and new to offer each time.
That's nice to
And
hear.
yeah, they've been remarkable, honestly. Well,
Oh,
with
thanks.
that, we come to an end to this conversation. It was lovely having you. And of course, best of luck for all your future projects. And we are
Thank you.
definitely waiting to see you more on screen. And
Thanks, love.
Abhay, it was a delight to have you here.
Thanks, love. You were great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye.